season, make sure you slap a like on the video. And also, we are still doing a giveaway at 7.5k, so make sure you subscribe. And also, big shout out to the people who were in the live stream yesterday before the draft when I went live. If you want to know when I go live, make sure obviously you subscribe with the bell on so you know when I do go live. And also, humongous shout out to Blake. I'm not sure if you want me to, do the whole comment or whatever, but big shout out to Blake, who was actually the first person to ever do this sort of new, tipping system they have going on YouTube. And I thought it'd be kind of a cool idea if anyone were to ever do this new sort of super comment that they have now, where basically you just tip, you leave a comment for every video you can do it on, and I'll shout you out in my next video or something like that. If you don't want me to, that's totally fine, but I think I'll start doing that. So thank you so much, Blake, for the super comment. I'm not even sure what they call it, but yeah, I think that's everything. Make sure you check out yesterday's video if you haven't already, and I think let's get started with tonight's video. So I am sure if you are watching this video, you probably are pretty in tune on what went down yesterday, but maybe if you want to know more about an in-depth look on how, the experts have to say about what picks went where, this is where we're going to get a little bit of a juicy sort of a take on each pick. And obviously I'm also going to be giving my own grades and picks for these, because I definitely have a lot to say about them. So with the first overall pick of the 2021 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons selected Cade Cunningham. Ooh, who could have saw that coming? This is just one of the easiest first picks, I think, in the last recent years of NBA. Obviously, you had, Zion with the first pick a couple years ago before that, and even before that, I mean, a lot of picks could have gone either or. I think this was also maybe one of those rare number one picks that you had to pick up, and Detroit finally did something amazing. They didn't mess up in this year's draft. They didn't trade the draft pick or anything like that. I'm very happy that they did this. Cade Cunningham does have, it is oozing all-star, maybe all-NBA team type of talent, and he already is being compared a lot to, maybe not a so sort of fine-tuned Luka Doncic, a sort of poor man's James Harden. He's getting compared to a lot of very good, solid NBA players, so as long as he just keeps that up, it should be good. And I think this is an obvious A plus. They nailed it. They got it done. They got the guy they needed. A plus. And I think they're also grading him an A plus. Yeah, they also graded him an A plus. Not much I could really say about Cade Cunningham. He is going to be a good player, knock on wood, for his entire career, and that's really awesome to see for Detroit, because they desperately needed the go-to guy, and now they got the go-to guy. Next up, number two pick. We had the Houston Rockets, and with the Houston Rockets, they picked up Jalen Green, and this is a really good pick. I really like this pickup, obviously, with Houston Rockets already having sort of, a system of already having a go-to offensive guy, obviously coming away from James Harden, now going to Jalen Green. Both very highly praised for offense, and that is amazing. My only take on Jalen Green is that that's really all he's really known to be, is just, a good scorer. And I really hope, again, knock on wood, people were talking about, who has, in my live stream, who has the biggest bust, capability, and it might be Jalen Green, because obviously throughout the years of college basketball, there have been great, amazing scorers coming into the draft, and most of the time they come out to be good players. Sometimes that's all they can do is just score the ball, and that's it, which is okay. It's not a superstar, it's not anything super crazy. I just hope Jalen Green, starts to becoming more of a complete full basketball player, offensively, defensively, facilitating all the jazz. So I'm going to give this an A. I think they did get the pick right. It's just the sort of, what do I want to say? I hope he just doesn't, stay the player that he is, if that makes any sense. So I'll give him an A. They gave them an A+. I mean, yes, obviously an A+. They picked the right player, but obviously, Cade Cunningham would have been the best bet if they could have traded up to get the first seeing a lot from like NBA Twitter, things like that, it seems like they are going to try to play Jared Allen and Mobley at the same time. And to some people, that sounds really cool, but the year is not 2009 anymore. I find it so hard in today's NBA to play two 7-footers at the same time. Now I know the Lakers did it with, Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis. Some other teams sometimes throw out a 7-footer lineup, but I do not want to compare Evan Mobley to Anthony Davis whatsoever. I don't want to do that. And I just feel like Jared Allen is so ready for that starting center role finally in the NBA that he's not going to want to take a back seat. So they're either going to have to try to figure out how to run a quick upbeat lineup with two guards of Sexton and Garland, but also while trying to integrate a two big men lineup of Mobley and Jared Allen. I have no idea how they're going to do it. I'm going to give them an A- just because fit-wise, I don't know how well it's going to be. I would give them like an A+ if they somehow, snagged the 2 pick or a 1 pick, or, traded down to get more of a fit player without getting assets. Mobley's a really good player, but fit-wise, it's going to be interesting to see how they get it done. I'll give them an A-. They give them an A. Makes sense. Okay. Now, here's where the shakeup started in the draft. At the number 4 pick, we had the Toronto Raptors. And I know you're thinking, oh, the Raptors. Everybody and their mama had them taking Jalen Suggs. Well, I'm not going to be saying Jalen Suggs because they took Scottie Barnes with the 4th pick. I know. Toronto, who already have OG Anunoby and Siakam, they have a good another sort of guard forward in Gary Trent Jr. It's pretty interesting in Toronto. But I think what we're all forgetting here is that Scottie Barnes, for a period of time in college, played point guard for Florida State. Do we all think that maybe Toronto picked up Scottie Barnes not to play a forward position, but potentially be the next Magic Johnson-esque type of player who is a 6'8", 6'9" point guard? Maybe. I think that might be where they're going. I think they like the playmaking, the IQ capability of Scottie Barnes, his ball handling. Maybe he could be the next Magic Johnson type of player where he's not out there scoring 20, 25 points per game as a forward, but maybe scoring 10 to 15, but being an amazing facilitator and can, see the court, obviously being a 6'8" guy. Could Toronto be going that way? That's a very, very big possibility. They gave them a B- for the pickup though, which obviously, Suggs was there. Everyone knows they're losing Kyle Lowry. Getting Suggs would be a nice replacement for Lowry, but I think Toronto might be making Scottie Barnes their next point guard. And over that with Suggs, for right now, I'm going to give them a B, a solid B. It's definitely a big swing trying to hit a home run. Will they strike out? I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting. Then, which comes to the fourth overall pick, where the Orlando Magic selected Jalen Suggs, obviously being the next best available player. Which is interesting because if you do not know the roster of Orlando, they have Markelle Fultz, who used to be the number 1 overall pick. They have Cole Anthony, who they used last year in their sort of lottery pick. They have other really good guard play not really good, but they have good potential guard play in the organization. So yes, they did just pick the next available best player, which is, usually good. Whenever you have a top 5 pick, you always just pick the next best guy, no matter what, no matter fit, no matter anything. So, for me personally, obviously being someone who's kind of like a Magic fan, I like the Magic. They're a cool team. I do like the pick. I think the pick works out very well. What I just really want to see is a move. They have to make a trade. I think having Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, I don't want to see like this like competitive sort of spot, like, oh well, this guy's here, so I need to play my best so I could be the next starting point guard. I don't know. And I don't want to see, Cole Anthony play the shooting guard, and we all know Markelle Fultz cannot play shooting guard, so I want to see a trade done at some point in time, whether it's for Markelle Fultz or some other player where they give these guys a little bit of breathing room to sort of not feel like they have to play their perfect game in order to, start or have minutes. That's the worst thing you can do to a young player, which obviously in Orlando, everyone's young, so I like the pick. I'll give it like a B plus. B, obviously, again, if they could have traded up to get like a Jalen Green, which is a definite pick they definitely need more guard, well, not guard, but a shooting guard, small forward type of player, which obviously why Scottie Barnes would have been really good. Yeah, then taking Jonathan Kuminga, which maybe we'll talk about later on. But yeah, Jalen Suggs, good player. I think he is definitely the most safe out of the guards they have there in Orlando. I just hope that it doesn't turn into a fiasco in Orlando with all these guards that they have. That's all I'm really worried about. They gave him an A. I can see why. He was projected to go third. He dropped to 4. It's a pretty good pickup, I guess. Sorry, he projected to went 4. He went 5. Sorry. Player number 6. We have here the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they tanked. They tanked the entire season last year in order to get Josh Giddey, which, if you don't know, I didn't have at all in my mock draft. I didn't even really see or hear about this player till like a handful of days before the draft even started, which is super crazy. But he is an Australian-born player, and I think he played in like the NBA like development league, not like the G League, but technically the G League, some other sort of system that they have in the NBA. It's pretty interesting, and after hearing a lot about him, it seems like he is more of a sort of big passing guard sort of thing. He's like a 6'8" forward who could play, small forward. He could play point guard. He's a good passer, facilitator, and definitely a very raw first-round pick. And obviously, if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have time to develop a player like that. It seems like he doesn't really have a lot to offer on, the scoring end of the ball, which makes a lot of sense. And obviously, OKC doesn't need that in a player. They already have Shea. They already have some pretty good, scorers on the team. Can they need more? Yes, but this guy seems a lot like a very future development type of player, which again, totally fine. OKC can sort of risk taking that type of a pick, but you had, Jonathan Kuminga on the board. Still, you have a lot of really good shooting guards left on the board, and you take this guy. I don't know. It could be a home run a couple years down the line, which, again, OKC's not rushing anything. They have plenty of time for a rebuild, but could they have taken maybe a higher upside player? I think yes, but for fit-wise, it's good. I'll give them like a B-. I think it's obviously going to be a very tough sort of convincing for a lot of fans out there, but I don't think it's that bad. They actually gave them a C- for a grade for Josh Giddey. Wow, that's tough. That's very tough. Next up, with the 7th overall pick, we had the Golden State Warriors, and I know the Warriors for weeks, maybe even months, well, maybe more than a month, was trying to trade their 7th pick and their 14th pick, I think it was, in this year's draft. Maybe plug in a Wiseman and a Wiggins to try to get a very high upside player. And they failed, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And with the 7th overall pick, they ended up picking Jonathan Kuminga, who was a player I was very up and high on in this year's draft, which obviously the Warriors always seem to pick a very good pickup in all their draft picks, and sure would have gotten a better play now ready guy. Would have been the best case scenario. I think obviously yes, but if they were to make a draft pick and they were to pick up a guy, why not pick up a guy who's already been in sort of like the NBA system with the G League, with Jonathan Kuminga? And I think this might be a match made in heaven. He could be, I'm not comparing him to this, but he could be maybe the next sort of Andre Iguodala type of guy for this team. He's already a bigger 6'8" type of body frame, really already good sort of versatile defender, already been missing Andre Iguodala ever since they left, and he could be the next guy. Now, obviously, development and play time and getting him used to the Warriors system is going to take a lot of time, but I feel like if they do end up keeping this pick, which obviously they could trade it, obviously, at some point in time, I think it's the best case scenario for them. I'm going to give them like, I'm going to give them like an A-. I think this was a great pickup for the Golden State Warriors. They gave them a B- actually. Well, obviously that's mostly because of like the Warrior timeline. They should have traded the pick, and I understand the Warriors' asking price for their 7th pick was high. I mean, I think they declined a trade offer for Ben Simmons that involved the 7th pick, the 14th pick, I think Wiggins, and maybe Wiseman for Ben Simmons, and they declined it. So it seemed like they were asking a pretty hefty price for their 7th overall pick. With the 8th pick, we had the Orlando Magic again. And with this pick, they got Franz, Wagner. Yeah, not my favorite pickup for them, honestly, at the 8th pick. He was definitely more of an outside of the top 10 pick type of guy. Still has a lot of raw ability, a lot more to prove, and I don't like this being that big. Now, he is a small forward, which is definitely what the Orlando Magic needed. Obviously, again, sucks that the Warrior took Kuminga, really sucks, but maybe they could have picked up a better pick here. I don't know. I didn't really watch a whole lot of Michigan basketball, but I think this is going to be one of those picks that just really go nowhere. I mean, if you remember, like, Mario Hezonja a couple years ago, very high pick, high potential, this and that, more of a project player. Reminds me a lot of this pick. I'm going to give them like a C on this. I think this is very average. I think this pick, no offense, I hope the best for him. I just don't think he is exactly what the Orlando Magic needed at this point in time. They need scoring. They need people who can put the ball in the hoop. I think Wagner just isn't there yet, and he may never be there. So I'm gonna give this like a C. They gave them a C+. Okay, so C+ for this pick. Now with the ninth overall pick, we had the Sacramento Kings, and with their pick, you couldn't write this a weirder way for the Kings, who already have De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Haliburton. They picked up another guard. Of course they would pick another guard. Why wouldn't they? They picked up Davion Mitchell, which I remember in my last video I kept calling him Donovan, which obviously he gets compared a lot to Donovan Mitchell. Sorry about that. Davion Mitchell. Interesting. Obviously being a guard who's already in a system that has 2 really good guards in it already, and for the Kings, there's no way they would try to do what Portland did last year and have a 3-guard lineup with Lillard, McCollum, and Norman Powell. Do you think the Kings are going to try to run Fox, Haliburton, and Davion Mitchell all at the same time? I hope to God not. I have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea. I think Davion Mitchell is a good player, good scorer. A lot of people are comparing him to, again, a Donovan Mitchell. Maybe like an higher offensive upside of a Gary Payton, a player like that who's a good on-ball defender who can put the ball in the basket, which is great. I love that. If they didn't already have Haliburton or Fox, this would be a great pick, but the fact that they do, it hurts. It hurts me a lot. I have no idea what they're trying to do here. It's going to be very interesting, again, sort of like the Orlando Magic situation. Are they setting up sort of like a whoever's the best out of this situation we're going to keep? Or are they actually going to try to run a 3-guard lineup? Or are they just going to keep Davion Mitchell on the bench his entire career? I have no idea. Super crazy, super weird. I'm going to give this like a C+, maybe a B-, because I do like Davion Mitchell, but sort of in that range. It's a very interesting pickup, and I really want to see what they do in this scenario, I guess. They gave them a B, and that's fine. I just think, it's not what they need. And obviously a number 9 pick, you're not going to be getting an all-star, all-NBA guy. I feel like picking a more fit pick here would be a better case scenario. With the 10th overall pick, we had the Memphis Grizzlies, and with the Memphis Grizzlies, they ended up taking Zaire Williams, yes, from Stanford, which is also a player I didn't see going past 10 at all in any of my mock drafts, but it seems like Memphis Grizzlies are taking a little bit of a risk on this player now. Zaire, obviously being a very high upside player coming into college, looked really good and was a higher recruit, but definitely going to be very interesting to see how they fit him into this sort of system. I really wanted them to pick more of a bigger, small forward guy who could play alongside Ja and Dylan, have them at the 3. I think that's what they really needed, and they definitely didn't get that. I think he's a little bit of an undersized 2 guard, maybe even a very undersized 3, which is kind of interesting. He wasn't the best shooter coming out of college, and that's definitely, again, what they need. They needed a scoring position, and I don't know if they're going to get that at least consistently with a guy with Zaire Williams. I'm not entirely sure. Again, a lot of really good guards and scorers still left in the draft, and they ended up taking more of a risk pick here. They ended up giving this draft a D plus. A D plus. I don't know if I'd go that low. I think he does have potential to still be, again, that 3 and D type of, well, not even 3D, a scoring wing position, which they really need. Obviously, they get the 3 and D out of Dylan Brooks, who's obviously we saw him play pretty good defense against Steph Curry in their sort of playing game. So, not bad. Maybe good. Okay, so now that we're sort of out of the top 10, I'm going to go over these next picks kind of fast, and then we can talk the trades that went down in the draft. At 11, you had Charlotte. They take James Bouknight, which I think is going to be such a good 1-2 punch with LaMelo Ball, with Miles Bridges. Their sort of backcourt of that, small forward, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard positions are nice. They're legit. Their scores, they're going to have a fun time in Charlotte. I would give this like a B plus. I find this really good. Yeah, they gave them an A. I'm very high on this pick. Charlotte right now is looking like a very good place to be. Could they pick up a couple of good players here and there in free agency? I don't know, but they're looking like a fun team to play with, not gonna lie. At 12, we had the Spurs taking Joshua Primo, a shooting guard from Alabama. No offense, no idea who this pickup is. I think there were still a lot of more, again, established players in the draft, but obviously the Spurs, they're always gonna, throw a curveball here and there. This was definitely one of them. The Pacers get Chris DeWitt, a shooting guard from Oregon. Not bad. They gave them a B minus. I'd give them a B minus B as well. This was probably like the next sort of best guy. I think he was one of the oldest players in the draft, which obviously Indiana, more of a win now scenario. Obviously having Sabonis and Turner and Brogdon always being in trade talks, they definitely need to put W's on the board. The Warriors, again, with the 14th pick, they picked up Moses Moody, and the Warriors, for the situation that they're in, not being able to trade away their draft picks, did a phenomenal job with getting Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. It looks like they were born to play for the Golden State Warriors. Just their motor, their energy, their play style. These guys are going to be, if they do stick around, they're going to be used and used pretty good in the Warriors offense. I'm going to give this pick like a B plus. I feel like Moses Moody could have went way earlier, like a top 10 type of pick, and they gave them an A minus. Yeah, I think this is going to actually work out if they end up keeping him. And yeah, that's all I'm going to really go with. Now we can get into more of the draft night trades. Okay, and also just to quickly go over the trades that went down technically yesterday, kind of this morning. First one that sort of happened earlier in the morning, I think at like 5 a.m. or something like that. It's Derek Favors and a future first round pick going to Oklahoma City for a second round pick. Kind of interesting. Definitely a cap dump on the Utah Jazz's side. Kind of interesting. I don't know what they're trying to do with that extra money, but OKC getting a pretty good, solid player. I mean, OKC, they're going to look good next year. I think they're going to be maybe in that playing scenario type of situation. Maybe. I don't know. We have Landry Shamet going to the Phoenix Suns. I like that a lot. They're getting good depth of a player, adding to, an already good arsenal in Phoenix with a good three-point shooter. I like this pickup. He is a high IQ guy. He's been in the league for a little bit. I like this for the maturing of their guards, I guess you could say. We have Mason Plumlee going to the Charlotte Hornets, which, I mean, I hope to God this isn't like the Hornets, center for next season. I hope they do maybe some different things here and there with their pickup. I know they do have Kai Jones now, which is a phenomenal pickup for the Charlotte Hornets. That's going to be awesome. I don't know if they're going to play him at the 4 or the 5, but Mason Plumlee, good high motor guy. I think he will fit very well in Charlotte. Obviously, the trade of Russell Westbrook to the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, Westbrook to the Lakers. What do I think about it? I don't know yet. Apparently, LeBron, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis already met up weeks ago before anyone else knew about this and talked about the potential of them playing together, and it seemed like it was a really good conversation, and it seems like LeBron and Anthony Davis are willing to let Russell Westbrook maybe be the guy if that's what Russell wants to be, and I like that a lot. Russell Westbrook, we haven't seen him be the guy in many years, and the last time he was the guy, it was the MVP Russell Westbrook. So if we can let Russ and Anthony Davis have great seasons and have LeBron not be the third option, but not have to use so much gas and motor to make it to the playoffs, this could work out very well. Or the play style of Russ LeBron is not going to work out whatsoever. They get nobody to play alongside these guys. This could be a very terrible ending to this sort of scenario. But as of right now, I'm going to be in the best case scenario, and I think this is going to be fun. Could you imagine a Russ, Cade, LeBron, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, James Harden NBA Finals? I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm wishing, I'm knocking on wood. This could be a lot of fun. As of right now, I like the trade, but the scheme of the game is going to have to change significantly in order for the Lakers to be successful. Alright guys, I think that is going to be it for me. Hopefully you enjoy this little bit of a recap, a little bit of a grading, talking about the scenarios that are going on in the NBA as of right now. I'm super excited about next season. Make sure again you slap a like on the video if you are also very excited about next season. Yeah, again, make sure you subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so you know when I go live, whenever I do basketball talking live streams or just ASMR live streams in general with some gameplay. It's usually a lot of fun. And yeah, I hope to see you again in my next video very, 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 very soon. Alright guys,